Yeah, so let us know what we have done this previous thing or any continuation.
So we are discussing about the empty cars and the variables which are there under empty cars, like number of cylinders in mileage, like
So that was the Saturday class. So we thought to learn some new data set. Okay. So gradually we are learning to know more and more in a data frame. So how to explore and how to get idea about analytics of this data in a data set. So we'll be looking more towards data visualization today. So interesting thing, and we should give attention here so that we can finish quickly. Now we have done something, at least some data description. Basically, when you say descriptive statistics, so this part also come in that. You want to describe the data, you want to what has happened inside that. So obviously, you want to visualize. Otherwise, you cannot have greater information only looking at table, only looking at different type of files, Excel file or any arrangement of column data or row data, or that is not making any sense as long as you have good idea about how to look at that data in a different plot. So we'll be learning that today. Now, before this, we all know the IRIS data set well. You have also know that summary of IRIS. We have done this last time.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So what did we see in that summary kind of thing? What was our understanding there?
Sir, we got mean, median, max of second data. Okay. And we saw like for species, there is no mean, median, max because for categorical data, it doesn't have mean, median.
Good. So categorical data, we are not supposed to get any mean median thing. So it was just putting you the numbers, how many from each category are there.
Yes, sir.
Now going little bit in depth into that. So this sepal length, we just saw chalo mean value, median, first quartile, third quartile, max. So these are some numbers giving some information for our understanding. But when you look at these numbers, what sort of information you derive? Just look at these numbers. This 4.3 is the minimum length, okay? Then first quartile is 5.1. So what does that mean? No idea.
So
You're
one
not
fourth of
competent.
the observations will lie at a sepal length of 5.1.
What is one fourth of the observation? You
It is
have all
20
numbers.
meters. Quartile.
So there are 150 observation. If you just make one fourth of it or 25% of it, sales told correctly, 150 ka one fourth करेंगे तो maybe 37, 38. So 37 points of the species of flowers that will fall in between 4.3 to 5.1. The sepal length of those lowest 37 points will fall within this range. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, what is happening here? Can you check?
Sir, at least
6.4 is the
113,
third.
113 data points have around 6.4 second.
No. So question was, is 6.4 is the third quartile, maximum is 7.9. So what is happening in this range?
Sir, around 113 data points lie at around 6.4.
Comment something in that last part, 6.4 to 7.9. Third quartile to max. What happened? So already we discussed 37, around 37 points or observation fall between the range of 4.3 to 5.1. So what is the next observation when we speak about the last part? Six point four to 7.9. There are also 37 observation or not? Between the range of 6.4 to 7.9. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So can you make any distinguishing statement or any interpretation from these two things? Achha, this is the section from where majority of you are in offline, right? Some 30 or some 35 are come for offline as this section.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any comment between these two lines, 575, 576? Since you understood these two lines, any visual interpretation? What may be happening?
The data is uniformly distributed.
Uniformly distributed. What do you mean by uniform distribution?
There is no skewness.
Also skewness. What is skew?
It's,
How you know here there are no skewness?
It means there is no inclination towards a particular side.
But how you know
The
that?
data is uniform.
How you know that? You have not seen the data. Nothing has been interpreted or plotted against a line. But you know some word, so you just use that word here.
So we can say that majority of the observations lie between 5.1 and 6.4.
Q 5.1 to 6.4, there are 50% observation. Half, आधा होगा ना? Because इसके नीचे था 25%, 6.4 to above था 25%. Right?
Yes, sir.
Just try to derive something from this line 575 and 576. Look at numbers. So I'm expecting now, whenever certain scenario like this is given, you are playing around with the numbers. Otherwise, your analytics acumen will not be developed. ये gap, what is that gap? How much is that range? 4.3 to 5.1. So this range is equal to
0.8.
0,
0.8.
and this range is equal to
1.5.
1.5. Okay. Now can you make some comment? Still not?
Within the small range, the number of observations are high. In case of
What do you mean by number of observations are high? सीधा तो लिखा गया है there are 37 observations. You are still not able to distinguish between that. मतलब you are saying high, what is high here?
So within the first 37 observations, there is not much of the difference of their sepal lengths.
अच्छा. So last वाला में much difference है.
Yes, sir, because sir, it is 0.8, but here the range is 1.5.
So you mean to say much word उसी के लिए यूज कर देंगे. 0.8 था इससे 1.5 है तो ये हो गया not much हो गया much. Can you make it more scientific or more at least logically correct statement instead of saying this? From practical observation type का कुछ बताओ ना. ये not much क्या होता है? ये सब स्टोरी वाला वर्ड होता है. Not much, not ये यहाँ पे much है, यहाँ पे not much है, ये सब क्या है? You are actually getting to that. Can make some good line. Same 37 points है, same 37 flowers है, but lower side में it's so compactly distributed compared to the higher side. The lower petal length flowers are more compactly placed compared to the higher petal length flowers. Is that fine? Lower sepal length flowers are closely distributed compared to the larger sepal length flowers. Is that line understood or still not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we can infer something like this by just looking this kind of information, this kind of summary. So we'll see this more on this through different plots. So looking at these numbers and making these statements may be a little difficult, but we'll see, do some plots and all. So today's class is all about doing some plots. So now can you just tell me some questions? So this is our iris data, obviously. Let me do this head of iris. let us know some questions like these are the different variable. You want to see some distribution of different variable. Like we know all, ultimately our objective is to know the distribution. Just try to make some valid question. Where we need to do it through plot. Frame a question. Question is the first part to learn easily. If you can come up with a question, valid question, that is more than enough. The answer, plotting, I'll do it for you, but first try to come up with a question. Take this variable sepal length, if you can frame any question. Simple question. I don't know where is
So
the
how
doubt.
the sepal length is distributed?
Absolutely. Very good. How sepal length of iris flowers are distributed. Perfectly fine. So just to see that distribution, what kind of plot you may be needing? The starting very basic plot, what can be answer to that?
Normal distribution.
Any other trial?
Scatter plot.
Very basic and simple and precise answer is scatter plot. Of course, it's very important one just to see how they're distributed. We can have histogram also to see the distribution, some sort of frequency distribution we may say. We can have some kind of line chart, we can have some density chart, but anyway, so these are different things. But first thing is scatter plot, as you have told correctly. If you can just see how they are scattered, that is more than enough. So how to do that? Now let me do the code and you see how to write it. Just call a function called plot. Now you see this is a function because these open braces are there. It's asking the data. What is our data here? Which data it wants to plot?
Sepal dot length.
Sepal dot length. Good. So how should I write it here?
Iris dollar sepal dot length.
Yes.
Very good. Iris dollar sepal dot length. Just control enter. You see this plot is in front of you. Can you see the plot?
Yes, sir.
What do you see in the plot?
Sepal length is randomly distributed.
Sepal length is randomly distributed. You do not see any such pattern or anything. This is random. When you go from observation 0 to 150, what is that in x-axis?
Number of observations.
So these are the flowers. Total we have 150 flowers. This is just an index. First flower, second flower, third, 100th flower, 150th flower, like that. We're just plotting all those flowers. Ka sepal length is plotting it.
Sir, the graph, the yours and mine are totally different, sir. Why is it so, sir? We have given the same data, na?
Your plot is different.
Totally different, sir. I don't know why.
What you have written in the code?
So exactly what you have written, plot, then iris, that dollar, sepal dot length. I don't know why, sir.
So maybe for the grade size, it is different for everyone. That's why.
No, the graph should be same, no? Graph is, how can the graph be different?
Yeah, so the size may be different, but the trend, at least the trend we see in my chart, like even if like this, do you see something like this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Somewhat similar like that.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. No,
And
got
you
it,
are
sir,
telling
yes, sir.
this is different. Take.
Okay, sir, okay, sir.
So this cannot be any different. So these are anyway. So question was, as you plot these 150 data points, the sepal length of this data point, you see, it's kind of increasing. It's just a linearly increasing pattern initially, but obviously you cannot say this is a pattern of like the flowers will, the length will increase like that when you go from, because there's nothing much to predict here. It's just a increasing line. You can simply say it's flower, different length of flowers are there. Some higher lengths are like you saw in that point, 6.4 to 7.9. You can also justify it here. See the higher length of petal, they are very sparsely distributed compared to the lower length of sepal. This lower length, these are compactly distributed. Can you see that from the figure? Justify that. This part, you see they are compactly distributed, compactly closed, means closely spaced. But यहाँ पे देखो, did you see that or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So simple thing was, by just doing a plot, you can see much more better way compared to this. You want to add some, let's say, you want to add a color, so I can just say col is equal to red, any favorite color. You see all these points are red. I want to add, instead of red, some gray color. This will be gray color. So likewise, we can add colors. You want to add some x-axis value. ये x-axis पे index लिखा है तो maybe not good to understand. So you can add x lab is equal to semi. What should I write?
Number of observations.
X lab is equal to सिर्फ observations. तो हमने कोट के अंदर लिख दिया, it should now replace that index. अब आ गया observations. If you want to write that y lab, you can also put y lab is equal to, this is sepal length था, simple हम लिख देंगे sepal length. Fine. So quickly you can do all this magic, which in Excel it will take a lot of time. Done. What happened? Not done yet? You're writing?
Yes, sir. Done.
Fine. So now think, tell me some question, frame a question related to two variables. Yeah, you just wanted to see how they are distributed, how the sepal length is distributed. Fine. So can you now frame a question related to two variables? Rather, I'll say two numeric variables. Can you frame a question?
The sepal length and sepal width relation.
Relation. So you want to find relationship between sepal length and
Sepal width.
good. So now we have two variables. We have a question. We want to see how they are distributed or related to each other. So when you say related means if one is increasing, what is happening to another, or if one is decreasing or constant, what is happening to another. So this is the question. Fine. If you want to see this in Excel, what will do?
Correlation.
Correlation.
You'll just check correlation between these two. What will get? Correlation suppose आ गया 0.6.
Sir, if the correlation is near 1, then it's a strong correlation. If it's near 0,
Yes.
then a weak correlation, sir.
So those are just numbers, na? Just hard-coded
Yes, sir.
numbers. इसमें से extra क्या मिलेगा? So I was asking if you want to see that distribution in Excel, what you will do?
Sir, again we will use that plot only.
Plot only, correct. What kind of plot you would like to do in Excel?
Sir, plot iris dollar
No,
sepal.
I'm asking what type of plot you'll do in Excel to understand the
So we
distribution.
can bar graph or line graph like that.
Line graph. और क्या बोला तुमने? Bar graph. What bar graph?
Means histogram.
अच्छा हिस्टोग्राम. हिस्टोग्राम ऐसे ऐसे चीजों के लिए ड्रा करते हैं क्या? दो वेरिएबल है, two numeric variable. You have data of like let's say height of all of your friends versus weight of all of friends. तो उस पे क्या हिस्टोग्राम ड्रा करोगे? How a histogram will show these two things.
So can we use scatter diagram?
Simple. We just need a scatter diagram. Very good. So we need a scatter plot to see how those points are distributed. And that will give us the idea about both axes, relations between both axes, because we can take two axes here, sepal length and sepal width. So let us do that. Plot. Now the question is how to give this input. Sepal length हमें चाहिए, sepal width चाहिए. So which axis, which one you want to take? Question is relationship between sepal length versus sepal width. So which axis should come for which one?
The sepal length x-axis, sepal width y-axis.
When you say relationship between some this versus that, so the first thing should be y. Usually, you are not incorrect, but better way is sepal length versus sepal width. So sepal length basically you want to see in y-axis. Okay. So you want to give this input to this plot function. How to give that? Just press tab. You can see what all argument it can take. If I just press tab, ये immediately आ गया x. So x is equal to, I should write sepal width. कैसा लिखूं? How should I write that?
Sir, iris dollar sepal.
Sepal width. Then y is equal to iris dollar sepal length. Done. Control enter. What do you see here? So quickly, this length versus width ka एक distribution plot आ गया. Now I can see all the sepal width is increasing. You are not getting a great some relationship ऐसे कुछ मिल नहीं रहा. You can say the sepal length is rising, increasing also, but not in a great way. Some mid-level पे कुछ हो रहा है. You just take some other variable here. Let's see. We want instead of sepal length, इसको ले जाओ कुछ लेते हैं petal length लेते हैं. What do you see here? Can you guess something from this plot? So suppose यहाँ पे हमने instead of sepal length, we want a relation between sepal width and petal length. What you may say from this plot? You did not see any connection in between. Suddenly कुछ हो गया. There are some points floating here. जिसका even if sepal width increase, you do not see any increase in petal length. But there are some other points यहाँ पे है for which sepal width increase and length is also increasing. Yes or no? Some the points on the top and these points. Don't you see different comparison?
Yes, sir.
तो ये क्या हो सकता है? Any interpretation? You are free to tell anything that comes to your mind. Please do not think कि ये गलत हो जाएगा. ठीक है, learning.
Sir, both cannot be drawn in the single diagram. मतलब एक ही normal इसमें नहीं आएगा दोनों.
मतलब दोनों मतलब क्या है?
Petal length and sepal length, sepal width.
कोई एक डायग्राम पे ड्रा नहीं कर सकते.
मतलब नॉर्म मतलब
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ restriction नहीं. You can draw. You just wanted to see these are 4 different properties of a flower. So you wanted to see one property, how this is varying with another property. What is the issue if you draw one diagram? My question was, what do you see in the plot? Can you guess something is there for which I see entirely different kind of behavior in the lower
So
part?
maybe these are like different species. Maybe the lower one is of different species and upper two has the same like different species, but their like features are same.
That is absolutely a good possibility. This may belong to a different species. This may belong to other species or some other species which is not exactly this species. Does this make sense to you all? What Simran was saying? Or you are not agree? Anyone not agree with this in this class? Hello. अरे कुछ बोला है तुम्हारे फ्रेंड ने यार. Even that is okay or not, इतना तो बोल दो. If she is
Yes, sir.
maybe whatever she has told,
Yes, sir.
may not.
We agree with him.
कोई जरूरी नहीं कि हम agree करेंगे. If you are not, we can see it further. Even I am not agreeing immediately, but I think हाँ एक interpretation हो सकता है. We do not know, but it's possible. मुझे लग रहा है. So, any of you also think it may be possible?
Yes, sir, we can say there is a connection between sepal width and sepal length, and there is far connection between the petal length and sepal width.
Acha, that is a good interpretation. So you are not saying about spaces, you are saying ये पिछले वाला प्लॉट पे सेपल
Yes, sir.
लेंथ सेपल विड्थ ये थोड़ा सा कनेक्टेड लग रहा था, ये जो
Connected. Yes, sir.
ऑब्जर्वेशन है उस पे कुछ रिलेशन लग रहा था, बट हियर यू सॉ कि ओके ये वेरिएबल पे ये रिलेशनशिप नहीं आ पा रहा. Very good, very good. You are comparing with the previous plot, coming with different kind of statement. I am happy with that. And Simran is saying कि ये connection है, but ये अलग-अलग flowers के हो सकते हैं. That is why this may be a group and this behaving in some other way compared to this may be some other group. This may belong to some other group and they are behaving in other way. ठीक है, so I'll accept both of your logic and we'll see. Now I'm no more waiting for like opinion from you all because I found this class is a little bit, I don't want to say any adjective. So we'll go fast. I have to finish by 12:15. So now how to check that? If you argue, suppose Simran, you have told this may belong to different group. How can I do something on this plot to justify that yeah, this belong to some group, some other group?
So if we could find out like the group, which group these belong to, like the observation are of which group.
Correct. So ये कैसे किया जाए in a plot, in a visual mode, what we should able to do so that we can say कि हाँ yeah, this belong to different group. Can we do something on the plot to see the flowers at the lower part of the plot belong to a different group? It may not be, but हमारा ट्रायल है कि हम कुछ करना चाहते हैं प्लॉट में. क्या किए अब क्या है ना, you are now already entered into the domain of analytics. You are thinking कि यार इस पे से क्या करूं so that I can distinguish कि something. The species at least. You have already told कि this belong to different species. So what idea you can bring to this plot to distinguish the points? Easier, difficult वाला तुमने बोल दिया सिमरन. This is easy.
Maybe we could add another axis.
Axis ऐड करने में फायदा क्या होगा?
So
I'll
अगर
add another y axis इधर ऐड कर दूंगा. This is second y axis right में ऐड कर दूंगा.
so z axis x y z like 3D.
So that is a 3D plot. Again, even if you add until make a 3D plot, adding one more axis means adding one more variable. उस
Yes, sir.
variable से क्या रखोगे? उस axis में कुछ तो फिर रखोगे. What will you put in that?
So the categorical data cannot be like graph on plot, like we cannot plot.
नहीं इतना जल्दी हाथ मत मानो. Cannot plot नहीं, we can do something. अच्छा, maybe you have seen something if you have read some cricket match तुम लोग देखते हो, maybe you might have seen comparison chart India versus South Africa मैच चल रहा है. ये रन रेट का तुमने कुछ चार्ट बाट देखा होगा बीच में. if you have might have seen cricket or anything else, किसी का भी favorite sport
Yes,
क्या
sir,
है
yes,
बताओ?
Yes, sir.
So when you see that kind of chart, India versus South Africa, तो उसका रन रेट दिखा रहा है. इसका इस ओवर के बाद रन रेट बढ़ते गया, इंडिया का में भी थोड़ा फ्लैट हो गया. So when you look at those kind of charts, what do you make? Something you notice there that is how you can distinguish कि हाँ ये इंडिया का है, ये साउथ अफ्रीका का है.
Different colors.
different colors, sir.
Very simple here. You are not able to come up with this. After 10 minutes, you are telling that. Simran, if we can give different color to these points, तो यहाँ पे different color का मतलब what?
So different denote
So the
as
sepal
a-
width to
Different color to different what?
Different species.
Different spaces.
Yes, sir.
Correct. अगर ये हम यहाँ पे कर दिया इस प्लॉट में, so maybe we can see them closely if they are actually distributed, like distinguished, or they are not distinguished. तो हमारा अब आइडिया आ गया, we shall try to add different colors to different species. Let's see how to do that. तो हमारे पास कोड तो ऑलरेडी है. This is my code and I'll just add call is equal to something red, ऐसे जो कि हमें पहले सीखा था. तो इस पे कोई बेनिफिट नहीं हुआ because this is single caller. Agree?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो ये this way is not good. So what I'll do, suppose I'll add, I want how many colors? 3 color, right? Because there are 3 spaces. डेटा को मत भूलना, फिर कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. तो सपोज मैंने 3 कलर ऐसे ऐड कर दूं. रेड, one is blue, another is dark green, let's say. तो मैंने ये 3 कलर ऐड कर दिया एक सी देकर, जो कि हमारा एक वेक्टर फॉर्मेट में ऐड कर. व्हाट डू यू सी नाउ?
So all the different species have different colors.
All the species have different colors. ये एक्चुअली ये हो रहा है क्या प्लॉट में? हमने ट्राई तो किया है, वी हैव गिवन 3 कलर्स, बट
Yes, sir, we
एक्चुअली
No, sir, because we can't, we have not given for each species, we have not specified in our code. We directly wrote like all equal to combination of these 3 colors.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. तो तुम्हें क्या लगता है ये अपने आप कर रहा है, मतलब एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड क्या? आई शुड गिव रेड टू सेटोसा, शुड गिव ब्लू टू
No,
बसी.
sir.
No,
It's
sir.
randomly just giving the color.
Very good, very good. I'm happy with your answer. So basically this again is not doing the job. So basically here the species are not linked in the code. हमने कहीं उसको लिंक नहीं किया है, हमने जस्ट बोल दिया बस ये कलर है, इसको लगा देना. सो इट हैज जस्ट पुट इट, इसके पास 3 कलर मिल गया, इट हैज पुट सम कलर्स. तो हाउ टू नाउ लिंक दैट? सो वी वांटेड to link the species to the colors. Let us see how to do that. I'll write the code. Anywhere you have doubt, you'll tell me. I'll try to tell you as easily as possible. तो हमें बेसिकली एक कॉलर को ही लगाना है, but it should be linked to species. तो what I'll do, I'll take the help of कुछ if else काम करेंगे. अगर मैं ऐसे इंग्लिश में एक तुमको लाइन लिखता हूँ, फर्स्ट इन इंग्लिश, देन यू विल टेल मी. सपोज इफ द स्पीसीज आर सेटोसा, then apply red color. Else if the species are virginica, apply blue color. नहीं हुआ तो else apply green color. Is this statement enough? अगर ये हमने कर दिया तो काम हो जाना चाहिए.
Yes, sir.
चलो, so this is you are at least agreeing कि हमने अगर ये कर दिया तो हमारा काम हो जाए. तो तुमने एक्सेल में कभी लिखा है if statement लिखा होगा. All of you like know management career is all about Excel and PowerPoint. तो एक्सेल तुम लोगों ने यूज किया होगा जहाँ पे if स्टेटमेंट लिखते हैं, if this that, if else this, if this is that. तो ये है, अगर नहीं है कुछ और है. So have you seen this kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो
Yes, sir.
हमने यहाँ पे if जैसे लिखते थे, I'll just write if else. There is a function called if else. You see this function automatically आ रहा है और वो बोल रहा है पहले टेस्ट क्या करना चाहते हो वो लिखो, इफ द टेस्ट वैल्यू इज यस, तो जो तुम चाहते हो वो लिखो, अगर नहीं है, नो है, देन यू पुट समथिंग एल्स। तो मैंने लिखूंगा इफ एल्स फंक्शन कॉल किया, मेरा पहला टेस्ट क्या होगा?
सेटोसा।
हाँ, स्पेसिस मेरा सेटोसा है क्या, उसको मैं टेस्ट करूंगा। सो हाउ टू डू दैट? iris dollar species equal to setosa. This kind of something, ये सही नहीं है, मैं बताऊंगा। I just want you to learn step by step. कुछ स्टेटमेंट ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसमें वो पता कर लेगा, अच्छा now I'm comparing if this is setosa or not, right?
Yes, sir.
बट ये गलत है, क्योंकि इसको यहाँ पे चेक कर। If I'm writing iris dollar species is equal to setosa, तो मैंने एंटर किया, so this is has done something wrong. ये क्या क्या पता है? This has assigned the value of setosa. क्या क्या बताओ मुझे? Can you tell me what it has done?
It has
So
assigned
the
setosa to species.
total is species as setosa.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. If you just type iris, ये तुम्हारे सारे species जो है ना, ये setosa दिखेगा।
Yes, sir.
जैसे iris dollar species, ये सारे तुमको setosa दिखेंगे, तो ये गलत हो गया। चलो उसको मैं रिमूव कर देता हूँ, then now it's fine. तो अब देखो एक्चुअली क्या लिखना था, लेट मी टेल यू नाउ। आयरिस डॉलर स्पीसीज, ये डबल इक्वल लिखना पड़ेगा, डबल इक्वल सेटोसा। तो क्या होता है ना, ये बेसिकली चेक करता है, इफ इट इज सेटोसा चेक इट, इट्स अ लॉजिकल स्टेटमेंट। इफ इट इज यस और इफ इट इज नो। हमने सिंगल इक्वल लिखा तो ये असाइन कर दिया, इट्स नॉट चेकिंग एनीथिंग। तो अब इसको रन करो, देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है। See what you get in the output.
If it's setosa, then it's giving value as true, else it's giving value as false.
Good. So there are 50 first 50 values it gives true because उसको मिल गया कि वहाँ पे setosa है, rest 100 values it gives false. तो अब हम यहाँ पे वही लिखेंगे, this is equal to setosa, हमारा कंडीशन अब ट्रू मिल जाएगा उसको। तो जहां जहां ट्रू है, it should give some color. तो which color you want, बोलो।
Blue.
Red color.
अच्छा, मेजोरिटी रेड आ गया, चलो ठीक है। अगर हम वहां से बाहर आ गए, अब जहां पे ट्रू मिल गया वो रेड देगा, जहां पे मान लो ट्रू नहीं मिला, सारे जो बच गए, उसको तुम क्या देना चाहते हो? जस्ट इंटरमीडिएट स्टेप, आई एम नॉट कंप्लीटिंग। मान लो रेस्ट जो है उसका हम ब्लू दे दिए। तो लेट अस सी, रन द कोड एंड चेक व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। ब्रैकेट एंड, कंट्रोल एंटर, सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। ये आ गया, ये सारे सेटोसा है।
Yes, sir.
सिमरन, अभी तुम्हारा पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया?
Yes, sir.
These are all belong to some group called setosa and this belong to other two group. But हमारा कोडिंग कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है, we do not want to put it all them to blue, we also want to segregate. तो वो भी लिख लेते हैं, instead of writing blue here, what I'll write, देखो I'm just putting enter, it will bring the cursor exactly to this point. अभी हमारे और दो बचे हैं, वर्जिनिका एंड वेसिकलर। तो एक और कंडीशन मुझे लिखना पड़ेगा, तो मैं क्या लिखूंगा इधर, इफ एल्स फिर से लिखूंगा, इफ एल्स आयरिस डॉलर स्पीसीज इज इक्वल टू, मान लो वेसिकलर। अगर ये वेसिकलर हुआ देन विल पुट ब्लू, अगर नहीं हुआ, अब तीसरा ही है, सो वी डू नॉट वांट टू राइट एनीथिंग एल्स, आई कैन राइट जस्ट डार्क ग्रीन। कैन यू सी दैट डन?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now it's much more informative. You have made this segregated color files. If you think this kind of code is difficult, I'll tell you the easier part. We do not need to bother about all these things. I can do it in a very easier way. So like, do not write this code. I'll tell you in the next class. ggplot2, I can simply do like this. ggplot AES, हमारा x था iris dollar सेपर लेंथ, y था iris dollar petal length. मैंने यहाँ पे कॉल करूंगा प्लस जम पॉइंट AES कॉल इज इक्वल टू, ये मेरे लिए गेम चेंजिंग होगा अभी, iris dollar species. तो ये मुझे डायरेक्ट क्या हुआ, डेटा मस्ट बी डेटा फ्रेम, कुछ एरर मार दिया, AES to the data agreement, AES एक बार यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ. अच्छा, ये कॉल इस पे नहीं समझता है क्या, इसमें कॉलर समझता है क्या? लेट मी सी. हाँ, ये क्या गड़बड़ हो रहा है? वो अच्छा, ये इसको आयरिस चाहिए, नहीं तो ये नहीं समझेगा ऐसे. अब हो रहा है ggplot, then data, then AES, then color. So क्या है ना, this will be much more easier to write. I'll tell you. अभी तुमको फील हो रहा है कि ये मैं क्या क्या लिख रहा हूँ. So I'll tell you एकदम the grammar of it, how to write it. One time will come, you will tell me the code, I'll write. So this is not for you right now, but if you think it is, this was what we have done today is just using the base coding. मतलब whatever the R base package is there, ये हम यूज करके आज लिख रहे हैं. So this is how you can anyway do. But can you see the plot, how it is making much more beautiful plot compared to the earlier one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And in a small code, I have not done anything big here. Just I'm XY दे रहा हूँ, color दे रहा हूँ, done. So you may be thinking, हाँ ये तो easy है. So we'll do that. We'll do that. But for the time being, it's always good to know whatever the base plot command we have. तो हमने color का सीख गए. Let us do some other plot. Can we see the any question? Can you tell me some question now? Same thing. Let's say distribution of sepal length. Now you want to see some meaningful thing. जैसे कि something called box plot to see the distribution related to the length. Let's see what is that. Just type box plot, iris dollar sepal length. What do you see now? Is this, are you able to run this in your PC? क्या हुआ, तुम लोगों को क्यों टाइम लग गया? जीजी प्लॉट वाला तो तुमने नहीं लिखा होगा. Just you are doing this one. What happened?
Yes, sir.
क्या हुआ? So why you are all silent? You are not able to do this yet?
Yes, I got it.
Yes, sir.
So basically you are taking time. Is there anything with difficulty happening here? You are doing all alt tab करते जा रहे हो. That is why it's difficult. I understand. But other than that, any difficulty?
No, sir.
That
No,
you are
sir.
watching my screen,
sir.
then you are like maybe increasing or decreasing your screen size and doing all this. तो इसीलिए थोड़ा time लग रहा था कि कुछ और हो रहा था.
सर आई एम फेसिंग अ प्रॉब्लम सर, मतलब अभी जब ट्राई कर रहा हूँ आईरिस डॉलर देने के बाद तो ऑप्शंस नहीं आ रहे सर, वैसे पता नहीं क्यों. वो जैसे आ रहा था ना, उसके बाद वो टेबल आ रहा था जहाँ पर टैब मार के हम सिलेक्ट कर रहे थे, वो नहीं आ रहा है सर. और आईरिस डॉलर लिखने के बाद
या आइरिस डॉलर के बाद ये वेरिएबल नाम नहीं आ रहा है.
नहीं सर, पता नहीं,
क्या?
मतलब वो कुछ देर पहले तक आ रहा था, अभी नहीं आ रहा है.
वो तो फिर कुछ हो गया होगा, मुझे क्या पता. आई क्या कुछ कैपिटल लिख दिया होगा, नाम गलत गलत सब लिख दिया होगा, मुझे क्या पता.
ठीक है.
So you need to check that properly. The box plot. Can you tell me now? चलो, I'll just do. हमने उस टाइम क्या बात कर रहे थे? कुछ सेपल लेंथ का बात कर रहे थे, राइट? समरी ऑफ आइरिस. तो उस टाइम you are telling this 7.9, 6.4. So let's do something for same thing for box plot of iris dollar petal length का करते हैं. Good. So this will give more meaningful thing. Now see what exactly is happening and why this box plot. Remember, this is one of the most important tool for any statistician. Yeah.
I am not able to see that box plot in my studio.
You are not getting that.
No, sir.
Just I am typing BOXP वो आ जाता है. तुम्हारे नहीं आ रही है?
Yes, sir. But I just typed it only VOX plot by typing.
तब भी नहीं आया.
That was that I typed first. Now actually I'm typing the way you say.
नहीं तुमने फर्स्ट टाइप किया तो नहीं आ रहा था.
No, sir.
तो तुमने स्पेलिंग गलत लिखा होगा.
No, sir, same spelling is written.
तो मतलब यू पुट कंट्रोल एंटर, कोड रन नहीं हुआ, फिगर नहीं आया.
No, sir. So now it is coming.
कोई नहीं. सो ये सबका बहाना है, इसका एक ही बहाना है. व्हेन यू आर टाइपिंग ऑल दिस थिंग यू आर मेकिंग सम मिस्टेक इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्मॉल कैप, लार्ज कैप, ऑल दिस थिंग वो बनते जाता है. वो स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट कुछ और कहीं कुछ और ब्रैकेट डाल देते हो, प्रैक्टिस तो नहीं करते हो, तो यही सब होता है. नहीं तो मैंने अभी टैब नहीं लगाऊंगा, मैं लिखूंगा, पूरा लिखूंगा. ये लिखा, दिस ब्रैकेट दिया, कैसे रन नहीं होगा? आइरिस डॉलर कुछ मैंने ये स्पीसीज का दे दिया, जो कि गलत है, बट किया मैंने फोर्सफुली. क्यों नहीं होगा? सो प्लीज माय ओनली थिंग इज यू ट्राई टू डू सम प्रैक्टिस. क्लास के टाइम यही सब दिक्कत होता है. नाउ ये कुछ आदिक बोला था, उसका आइरिस टाइप डॉलर करता है तो नहीं आ रहा है. दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल यार. मतलब वो प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं है, कहीं कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं. वो हुआ कि नहीं अभी तक? अभी
नहीं सर, मतलब कुछ मतलब 5 मिनट पहले से नहीं हो रहा, उससे पहले तक किया था सर, था बड़ा था. अभी तक वो बॉक्स प्लॉट भी नहीं आ रहा है सर, वैसे पता नहीं क्यों. मतलब इससे पहले पूरा आप जैसे कर रहा था, मैं कर रहा था, कंटिन्यू कर रहा था, लेकिन अभी नहीं आ रहा है.
क्या पता. तुम ऐसे करो, ये उधर जाओ, सेशन यहाँ पे एक ये है सेशन, इस पे लिखो रिस्टार्ट आर, क्लिक कर दो. रिस्टार्ट आर, कंट्रोल शिफ्ट F10 और जस्ट से सेशन रिस्टार्ट आर. यूजुअली नहीं होता है, बट पता नहीं क्यों तुम्हारा ऐसा हुआ. रिस्टार्ट
Sir,
आर कर तो हो जाएगा. हाँ बोलो.
Sir, I am getting that range as only 4.5 and 6.5. How to change that range on that box plot?
तुमको क्या मिला? 4.5 टू
सर ये जो y एक्सिस में सिर्फ मेरे को 4.5 एंड 6.5 दिखा रहा है. आपका जैसे 1 से लेके रेंज दिखा रहा है 3 तक.
नहीं. ये तो मैंने कुछ जो स्पीसीज का रन कर दिया था. आई वांट टू डू दिस पेटल लेंथ. पेटल लेंथ करके देखो, वो अपने आप आएगा 1 to 7.
हाँ सर, रीसेट करने से हुआ सर,
ठीक है,
अब हो रहा है।
चलो अच्छा हुआ। हाँ बोलो तुम अभी जो रेंज बोल रहे थे, इट इज डन।
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, this is just this why I'm telling this. This is the most important plot for any statistician and analytics person. Why? This shows you a lot many information. Basically, क्या है ना? This shows you the distribution of the length inside that end variable. ये petal length का कैसा कैसा distribution हो रहा है ये बता रहा है. कैसे है ये चेक करते हैं इसको. Let me write something. ये petal length का just do summary of petal length. Summary of iris dollar petal length. What do you see in the output? Minimum is 1, first quartile 1.6, median 4.35, maximum is like this. So you got all this value?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अब क्या है ना, these values, standalone values may not give you much information. Median है 4.35, ठीक है, 50% of data are below 4.35, 50% of flower are above 4.35. तो फर्स्ट क्वार्टाइल मतलब वही हो गया 25% और 37 डेटा पॉइंट आर फ्रॉम 1 to 1.6, रेस्ट 37 आर फ्रॉम 1.6 to 4.35. ये सब बीच बीच में ऐसा हो रहा है. बट दिस फिगर गिव यू सम मोर इंफॉर्मेशन. कैसा है? लेट मी एक और आई जस्ट वांट लेट मी डू दैट फर्स्ट. कहीं I want something to show you. Petal width में नहीं है, sepal width में हो सकता है. Box plot, iris dollar sepal width. Very good. I want this figure. तो ये इसीलिए बनाया. I want because I want to show you some important information in this plot. तो यहाँ पे let me finally ये annotate का यूज करता हूँ. ये कैसे लिखते हैं चलो देखते हैं. वो अच्छा है सर. 1 अच्छा, ये मैंने कुछ लिखा हूँ. नहीं ऐसे क्यों, इसमें तुम लोग कंफ्यूज हो गए. I just wanting to write something. Let me write it. One लिख देना होगा. अरे ये क्या आ गया? So annotate. So this is my number 1, this line. And can you see this second line? I'm just writing number 2. This dark line, I'm writing number 3. The line above it, I'm writing number 4. And this top line, I'm writing number 5. So all of you are on with us. I have written just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just to distinguish the 5 different lines in this plot. Any doubt?
No, sir.
So this 1 is the minimum line. Now you can remember something. Let me go back here. So this 1 is our minimum line. What is our minimum value here? ये कौन सा था? Sepal width. Summary कर दो. Summary of iris dollar sepal width. What is the minimum value here?
2.
2. And maximum value is 4.4. Okay. तो ये जो point तुमको दिख रहा है, this is one of the observation. And there are 3 observations beyond the maximum line. Fine. ये दिख रहा है, all the visualization stuff, you can see that, so there should not be any doubt till now. Fine. There is 1 point falling outside the minimum line. There are 3 points falling outside the maximum line. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now see the second. More important, you look at this box. This is the box. And this dot line are called whisker. These are the whisker. So these are the box and whisker plot, or simply it is called box plot. So this line number 2, this is the first quartile. Can you check here how much is the value of first quartile?
2.8.
And you also check it here. This is drawn across 2.8. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this dark black line, this is your median line. To see this median value is 3, and this is across 3. The fourth number, line number 4 is the third quartile. Third quartile, you see here, this is 3.3, and this is also drawn across 3.3. Fine till this point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is the maximum line. ये कैसे ड्रॉ हुआ 4 से, क्यों 4.4 से नहीं हुआ अभी आई एम टेलिंग, just try to listen carefully. So 1 is the minimum line, 2 is the first quartile line, I'm short में लिख रहा हूँ, 3 is the dark line which is nothing but median line, then number 4 is third quartile, number 5 is maximum line. तो अब क्वेश्चन माइंड में आ रहा है यार, ये मिनिमम तो इधर है, दिस इज द मिनिमम लिस्ट वैल्यू ऑफ दिस पॉइंट, दिस द मैक्सिमम होना चाहिए था, ठीक है नहीं? यू हैव दिस डाउट और नॉट?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
फाइन, तो लेट अस सी ऐसा क्यों नहीं हुआ. तो दीज आर द एक्सेप्टेड, वर्ल्ड वाइड एक्सेप्टेड एल्गोरिथम जिसके बेसिस पे ये ड्रॉ किया गया है. ये जो मिनिमम लाइन ये कैसे ड्रॉ करता है, देखो दिस मिनिमम लाइन, देयर इज समथिंग called interquartile range. तो ये interquartile range का मतलब ये हुआ line 4 minus line 2. Can you see this gap? यहाँ से यहाँ तक ये बॉक्स का बेसिकली जो width है, ये वाला length, line 4 to line 2, और you can say third quartile minus first quartile. Fine. हेलो.
Yes, sir.
तो ये हमें एक वैल्यू मिलेगा, थर्ड क्वार्टाइल टू फर्स्ट क्वार्टाइल कितना है 3.3 माइनस फर्स्ट क्वार्टाइल 2.8, कुछ वैल्यू मिलेगा. तो दिस इज कॉल्ड इंटर क्वार्टाइल रेंज और IQR, इसको शॉर्ट में बोलते हैं IQR. ये तुम्हारा हो गया ये बॉक्स का जो है लाइन 4 टू लाइन 2, ये जो गैप है दिस लेंथ इज कॉल्ड IQR. अब दिस 1 to 2, ये जो 1 वाला लाइन कैसे खींचा था वो नहीं पता था हमें. So now I'm telling you this minimum line, 1 is our minimum line. This much we know till this point. This is equal to, कैसे खींचेंगे, this line 2 minus 1.5 star interquartile range. ये बनेगा तुम्हारा, जहां पे बनेगा डेटा, that will be your minimum line. Similarly, line number 5, which is your maximum line, this is equal to line 4 plus 1.5 star interquartile range. मतलब ये जो लाइन 4 है और द थर्ड क्वार्टाइल इस वैल्यू पे 1.5 इंटू दैट इंटर क्वार्टाइल रेंज मल्टीप्लाई करके ऐड कर देंगे, विच एवर वैल्यू विल गेट दैट इज बी द लाइन नंबर 5 और मैक्सिमम लाइन। तो ये तो मिल गया। देन व्हाई इट इज, ये सब क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई यू आर डूइंग ड्राइंग ऑल दिस थिंग, मिनिमम लाइन मैक्सिमम लाइन इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग दिस लाइन दैट लाइन। रीजन ये है, एनी पॉइंट फॉलिंग बियॉन्ड दिस लाइन आर कॉल्ड आउटलायर। Remember this, any point falling beyond the max and mean line are called outliers. Clear है अब? I can take question now. Any doubt you ask me?
So one small doubt that the box plot which is coming, so it is coming in gray. So how can you change it to blue? Because on your screen it is coming in blue.
मेरे स्क्रीन में तो ग्रे है।
No, sir, the box plot function.
तो मैंने अच्छा तुम वो वाला अलग बोल रहे हो। ये
Yes,
तो
sir.
कभी मैंने बताया था यार, ये आई थॉट कि तुम इसका कॉलर चाहते हो ब्लू, तो आई वाज जस्ट डूइंग दिस। तो एनीवे, तो अब बोल रहे थे एक विजुअल अपील के लिए उसको ब्लू कर देते हैं, बट यू वांट दिस फंक्शन का नाम मेरे ब्लू क्यों है? अरे यार, ये मैं तुमको बोला था, यू गो टू दिस टूल ग्लोबल ऑप्शन, दिस इज लाइक द सेटिंग दैट आई हैव। ये जो अपीयरेंस में मेरा सेटिंग है लूसिडा कंसोल। लूसिडा कंसोल है फॉन्ट, और ये मेजर चीज ये है सोलराइज डार्क। तुम्हारा ये कौन सा है? टूल अपीयरेंस, जाओ टूल में जाओ, अपीयरेंस पे जाओ। अब इधर देखो
Global
तुम्हारा,
option.
हाँ टूल ग्लोबल ऑप्शन अपीयरेंस, उस पे ये सोलराइज डार्क रखोगे तब ये दिखेगा ऐसे।
Solar Lucida console है sir.
हाँ वो
Solar
है,
is dark.
तब भी नहीं आ रहे सोलराइज डार्क में।
Yes, sir. Solar is dark. That's why, but still it is not coming.
ये तुम्हारा मॉडर्न है आर स्टूडियो थीम।
Modern.
ये देखो थीम क्लासिक होगा शायद तुम्हारा, ये मॉडर्न है।
हाँ modern है sir.
तब तो मेरा जैसा दिख रहा है सिमिलर दिखना चाहिए तुमको। ये ब्रैकेट कलर येलो दिखना चाहिए, फंक्शन का
सर
कलर।
ब्रैकेट सब ठीक दिख रहा है, खाली बॉक्स प्लॉट ही ब्लू नहीं दिख रहा है, दैट्स व्हाई आई आस्क्ड।
नहीं, बॉक्स प्लॉट क्यों? एनी फंक्शन नाम तुमको फिर ब्लू नहीं दिखता होगा। This
हाँ
is
मतलब
function.
हाँ इन कोई भी फंक्शन ब्लू नहीं दिख रहा है।
Wow. ऐसे क्यों हुआ? ये लूसिडा कंसोल है, फॉन्ट साइज। तो नहीं, इस पे तुम थोड़ा सा ये जस्ट हिट एंड ट्रायल करो, मतलब कुछ डिफरेंट लेके देखो। एक्स कोड भी कुछ अलग अलग करता है, विच एवर इट बी सुइटेबल यू जस्ट ट्राई। इस पे तो मैं भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता यार, है ना?
Sir, is this because sir in between I just the way you said click on the session then restart, that's why is it coming?
वो पहले आता था, अभी नहीं आ रहा।
पहले सर आता था सर, अभी बीच में सर एक्चुअली आई जस्ट क्लिक्ड ऑन दैट सेशन एंड देन रीस्टार्ट आर टू सी द
वो
प्लॉट।
तब तो मे बी समथिंग माइट हैव हैपेंड, बट ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। सो देन इट्स ओके यार, देन इट नेक्स्ट टाइम तुम खोलोगे हो जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
ओके सर।
ठीक है, ठीक। तो देखो हमारा जो ऑब्जेक्टिव था, we learn about box plot. So we are getting all these lines we found and why these outliers are there, because any point falling outside of these are called outlier. तो क्या होगा आज information to the analytics professionals, you need to remove this point. क्या है कि algorithm के बाहर ये जा रहा है, these points are not really good to take into our analysis, you may decide to remove them. Remove करके you will do further analysis. So this is the outlier which you see in a box plot. सब में नहीं था because obviously that is I tried कि चलो किस पे है ये petal width sepal width पे आ रहा है but other things में उसी petal width पे वो नहीं दिखा रहा है this petal width नहीं है तो not mandatory सबके हिसाब से वो प्रोग्राम algorithm के हिसाब से फिट होगा but sepal width पे आ रहा है so this is what all we have learned today small thing let's say also you wanted to see the distribution of this sepal length I can also do a histogram how to do that just type hist of iris dollar sepal length control enter you can see the all histogram of this sepal length within so quickly you can do all these things is that fine
Yes, sir.
so only thing you need to practice all these things these are all about plotting in a base R code so next I'll tell you how to use the powerful package ggplot2 so using that we'll do next but this is sometimes this is handy to know that because many a time you may just do small because this is the smallest and the precise code is possible just writing hist you are getting this plot so many things you are many information you are looking here you want to change the histogram width just type brex is equal to 20 so you can see a lot of information चलो 6.5 6.2 में काफी सारे फ्लावर है this is a frequency plot so 4 में काफी सारे flowers है like this many information you can get so you need to play with this thing we are done with the class you want to ask I can take one doubt no doubt chalo so I'll go to attendance this is section C so let's see. Unmute and name times. Abhinav, 1, 2.
Present, sir.
Aditi,
Present, sir.
Aditya, Ipsita,
Yes, sir.
Ipsita, Aishwarya, are you there? Alok is there. Alok Ranjan,
Sir, my mic was not working. So Aditya Agarwal. So I rejoined now.
what was discussed today?
Sir,
What was discussed today?
hello.
What was discussed today?
Hello.
Yeah, Aishwarya. Anuradha,
Present, sir.
Aritra,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Arpan Narayan is there. Ashish Kumar,
Present, sir.
Chinmay Mahanti, Devupam,
Present, sir.
Deep Shikhar is there. Itisri,
Present, sir.
Maheshita,
Present, sir.
Pratyasha,
Present, sir.
Pratish, Rahul Kumar,
Present, sir.
Rajeshwari,
Present, sir.
Rishabh, Sadip,
Present, sir.
Sambit, Saul,
Present, sir.
Santanu,
Yes, sir.
Shivam Pradhan, Shreya Shruti,
Present, sir.
Sneha,
Present, sir.
Soham,
Present, sir.
Subhajit,
Present, sir.
Shubham Vikas, Sumit Kumar,
Present, sir.
Tini,
Present, sir.
Yes, Tini
Present, sir.
Panda, Tini Panda,
Present, sir.
yes, thank you.
Sir,
Aditya,
sir, my friend Aishwarya is her mic is not working, sir. So she has texted in the group in the chat box. You have marked her absent. Roll number 150.
okay. 150. Manan, Malik, Sonali,
Present, sir.
Shashwat,
Present, sir.
Kumar Aditya. Chalo, we are done. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great time.